lot of this isn't going to make sense to you. And I'm sorry about that.
I'm just gonna start at the beginning, with the house.
Damit herzlich willkommen zu What Remains of Edith Finch. Ich hatte es in der letzten Layers of Fear Folge angekündigt, ich werde wahrscheinlich, auch wenn ich es eigentlich heute erst durchgespielt habe und heute auch erst angefangen hatte.
My brother Milton disappeared when I was 4. It was like the house just swallowed him up.
Ich werde es mir trotzdem nochmal...
Someone had put up a chain link fence, but it looked like I wasn't the first person to hop it.
Ich werde es mir trotzdem nochmal etwas genauer anschauen. Vielleicht werde ich das ein oder andere noch finden, was ich vielleicht verpasst habe. Mal schauen. Bin sehr gespannt. Sie erzählt sehr, sehr viel. Ich weiß nicht, wie viel ich zum Reden komme.
I was 11, but I wasn't allowed inside half the rooms.
Es leckt, glaube ich, gerade ein bisschen, ne? Huh.
Inside the mailbox were bills from 7 years ago, marked urgent, open immediately.
I hadn't been back since my brother Lewis's funeral.
Aber ich finde, das ist ein wunderschönes Spiel. Da kann man nichts
In her
sagen.
will, my mother left me a key, but didn't tell me what it unlocked.
Oh.
Maybe she thought I'd know. Or she thought that the mystery would be enough to bring me back.
Sehr interessant.
No one had driven this way in a long time, but I saw a few hoof prints.
Ein paar Hufspuren, okay. Übrigens, wir sind schwanger. Spoiler-Alarm. Ein Hirsch. Schick.
The truth is, even after I inherited the house, I never thought I'd come back to it.
Ganz ehrlich, und ich muss zugeben, ich habe auch nicht gedacht gehabt, dass ich das Spiel, bevor ich es gespielt habe, nochmal spielen werde irgendwann. Und vor allem nicht am selben Tag.
But now I had questions about my family that only the house knew the answers to.
Ich glaube, da muss schon was heißen, dass das Spiel vielleicht doch ganz gut ist, wenn ich es mir am selben Tag zweimal
The house was
anschaue.
exactly like I remembered it, the way I'd been dreaming about it.
Oh ja.
As a child, the house made me uncomfortable in a way I couldn't put into words.
Now, as a 17-year-old, I knew exactly what those words were. I was afraid of the house.
17 und schwanger. Was läuft bei dir? Ja, natürlich passt ihr da durch.
Crawling through the doggy door used to be a lot easier when I was 11.
Und nicht schwanger warst, meinst du? Wie zum Fick ist die mit dem Bauch da? Ich frag nicht.
The power had been turned off the night we left.
Ja, stimmt aber was. Das Spiel ist super.
For the first time in years, I felt like I was home. But instead of a family, there were just memories of one.
Dawn, Alice, Edie und Lewis. In loving memory, Lewis Finch. Bruder von Edith, Sohn von Dawn und Enkel von Eddie. Oder Edie, ist mir egal. Und die haben einen eigenen Friedhof, wie es scheint.
Like how after Lewis started working at the cannery, we all got sick of eating salmon. Except our cat, Molly.
Verständlich.
Or how only one restaurant would deliver to our house, so we had Chinese a lot. The table was still a wreck from the night we left. It was like a bomb had gone off, killing everyone but sparing the furniture. My mom was the only one of us who could imagine Great-Grandma Edie living in a nursing home.
Kann ich nachvollziehen. Ich finde sowas auch nicht so cool.
Nothing in the house looked abnormal. There was just too much of it, like a smile with too many teeth.
Even the fireplace had a story. Edie told me the bricks came from the original house, after it sank.
Versunken. Kann man sich hier noch irgendwas angucken? Ich weiß es gerade gar nicht mehr. Es sieht nicht danach aus.
Mom always told me to stay out of the basement, so I wasn't too surprised when the key didn't fit. Great-Grandpa Sven built a music box for Barbara, along with the rest of the house.
Süß.
A lot of things got left behind in the whirlwind of that last night. Edie told me once that every Finch who ever lived is buried somewhere in the library.
Da ist sicherlich was dran.
After Milton disappeared, Mom sealed up all the bedrooms. Then Edie retaliated and drilled peepholes.
So. Sven und Edie. Beide tot.
The last time I was in Edith Senior's room, I was 10 and she was painting my portrait.
As a kid, I just assumed every house had peepholes and sealed rooms you weren't allowed inside of. My Grandpa Sam spent 7 years sharing a room with his dead brother, Calvin.
Und Calvin war gerade mal 11. Shit. Das ist schon ein krasser Scheiß eigentlich. Komplette Geschichte ist einfach nur krasser Scheiß.
Whenever people ask me about my family, the first thing they always want to know about is Barbara.
My friend Bigfoot.
Edie's father, Odin, built the original house.
Odin.
Barbara was a child star for 2 years, until America grew out of it.
Wie immer. Stecker.
Mom must have locked the third floor stairs on the night we left.
Muy interessante. Molly.
Molly always seemed like a girl I could imagine being friends with, if she hadn't died in 1947.
Das ist schon krass eigentlich, ne? Also jetzt nicht an sich, dass sie 1947 gestorben ist. Also klar, die war erst mal 10. Aber dass es diesen Raum hier noch gibt und dass er nie irgendwer anders benutzt hat. Ist alles noch da.
I spent a lot of time playing in Great Uncle Walter's room. I think my mom sometimes regretted not sealing it up.
Lewis told me there were secret passages, but I never believed him. Turns out, my mom was really good at keeping secrets. Now it was time to find out what my mom had been afraid of. From the paintings on the wall, it was clear my brother Milton had been here before me.
Oh ja. Und jetzt, meine Freunde, jetzt
Reading this, maybe it sounds like I had a plan.
geht die Reise erst los.
But I had no idea what was behind that door. Just like I had no idea where all this was gonna lead. I grew up looking at Molly's room through the
Molly's
peephole.
gerbil had a tiny bedroom
Oops.
with its own, even tinier gerbil cage.
Das wollte ich gar nicht.
Being inside for the first time, I felt like I'd stepped behind a painting.
Das wollte ich gar nicht. Krass. Sieht auch so aus, als ob man da durch könnte, ne? Hier konnte man nicht rein, genau. So gehen wir mal in die erste Geschichte.
December 13th, 1947. Dear Diary, I'll be gone soon, but I wanted to tell somebody about what's gonna happen. It started when Mom sent me to bed without dinner. I woke up and I was starving, so I looked around for something to eat.
Die Kleine wollte nur etwas essen.
My Halloween candy was all gone.
Oh, ich kenne das Problem.
Mom, can I come out now?
Sweetheart, it's late. Go to sleep.
What the fuck?
The gerbil food was dry, but I didn't mind it.
Besser als nix, oder? Ist da noch irgendwas? Nö. Können wir.
I thought about eating Christopher, but I held back.
Warum? Just do it. Das ist nur ein Font, oder? Der ist nicht richtig animiert. Boah, ich bin nicht sicher, es sieht so komisch aus.
I kept eating and eating.
Uah. Uah.
I ate a lot of things that night.
Das haben alle diese. Alle haben so Punkte auf der Hand.
Then I heard chirping outside my window. It was a barn swallow going back to her nest. I reached out for her.
Und ab jetzt wird das Spiel erst interessant.
And suddenly, I was a cat.
Plötzlich waren wir eine Katze.
I tried to be quiet, but the bird was really scared.
Naja, wir kriegen dich noch. Da ich mittlerweile den Weg kenne einigermaßen, ist das jetzt nicht mehr so schwierig.
I jumped and I almost got her. I could tell she was getting really tired. Now I was up in the big tree. I promised Dad I wouldn't climb it anymore. All I cared about was eating that mama bird. I
Kann ich
gobbled her
nachvollziehen.
up. and suddenly I was an owl. First, all I heard was the wind. Then I heard little teeth nibbling in the grass.
Glaube ich dir. Ich höre sie, ich sehe aber noch nichts.
Rabbits.
Woher?
I imagined his face looking up and seeing mine through my talons.
Sie schluckt den einfach
I
runter.
swallowed him up, and I didn't chew one bit. Then I flew off to find something bigger.
Huh.
A mama rabbit.
Wo?
She was almost too big to carry. I started choking, but I couldn't stop eating. And suddenly, I was a shark.
Das ist so, klar war es auch immer ein Hai. Das steuern übrigens wir selbst. Das ist total bescheuert.
I rolled off a cliff and into the ocean. Now, I was hungrier than ever.
Da schwimmt doch schon was.
I wanted fat, juicy seals. I tore off her flipper, and it tasted really good.
You're mine. Just don't know yet. Shit, wo seid? Oh, hier rechts immer. Glaube ich. Shit, wo ist er hin? Wo ist er hin? You're mine. Hab ich ihn? Dran vorbei, ne? Leck mich doch.
I grabbed on tight.
Geht doch.
When I was so hungry, I jumped out of the water. When I opened my eyes, everything had changed.
So kann man das auch sehen.
Now I was a monster, and I smelled people everywhere. I was big, but I moved real quiet.
Hauptsache Menschen essen.
I wanted to stop, but also I didn't.
Ich will die eigentlich fertig singen lassen. Weil ich glaube, dafür gab es auch eine Trophäe. Sag nicht, das war der gesungen hat, oder? Das war der gesungen hat, ne? Ach, scheiße. Egal.
After the last passenger, I was still hungry. And to cross the water, I smelled something new. Something I had to have, so I swam towards it. I slithered onto the sand, and the good smell went into an old pipe.
Die Jagd beginnt.
I got closer and closer.
Na, wem kommt das noch bekannt vor?
All my stomach started growling. And suddenly, I was me again. I held my breath for a long time, but I couldn't hear anything. I think it's waiting for me to fall asleep. But it's not going to wait much longer. It needs to feed, and we both know I will be delicious.
I'm not sure if I believed all of that, but I'm sure Edie would have.
Nachdem ich das Spiel das erste Mal durchgespielt habe, glaube ich mittlerweile so ziemlich alles. Na, Molly?
This will be obvious later, but my mom never told me any of these stories.
Edie would have, but Mom didn't like bringing up the past. Though, when we adopted a stray kitten, she was the one who named it Molly.
I spent a lot of time in Great-Grandma Edie's room.
When Edie told people Sven was killed by a dragon, she could also have said he was building a dragon-shaped slide that collapsed. She could have, but she didn't.
So.
Even in her 90s. Sometimes Edie seemed a lot younger than my mother.
Das ist, glaube ich, nicht so schön, sowas zu hören. Aber hey.
One summer, they evacuated the island, but Edie refused to go. For a few weeks, she was a celebrity. I hadn't thought of myself as Edith Jr. for a long time.
Was sind denn eigentlich alles für welche? Hier. Edith Junior Lake Trip. Sam Photo Award. Conspiracy Now. Sam irgendwas. Home Movies. Weird. Was? Irgendwas mit America, The Finch, keine Ahnung. My Friend Bigfoot. Random Junk.
Edie gave a big interview about a mole man living under the Finch house. My mom was furious.
Ich sag jetzt lieber mal nix. Stimmt, das spielt ja in Norwegen.
Louis died a week before we left, but Edie had already started to memorialize him.
Ja, wenn wir sowas finden, dann ist es immer von ihr.
Her room was like a museum.
Das habe ich beim ersten Durchlauf tatsächlich scheinbar übersehen. Das hier. Das hole ich jetzt nach. Das ist jetzt für mich selbst neu.
For 500 years, the Finches have been famous throughout Norway for their fortune. And misfortune.
Ups, das wollte ich gar nicht. Hä? Wie funktioniert das?
Odin Finch buries the latest victims of the family curse. His wife Ingeborg and their newborn son, Johann.
Achso, ich hatte das doch gefunden. Ich habe nur nicht gecheckt, wie ich das weiterblätter. Jetzt weiß ich's.
On January 7th, 1937, he set sail with his family and his house, hoping to leave the curse behind.
Sein Haus war auch ein Schiff, okay.
But 40-foot waves off the coast of Washington send the house and Odin to the bottom of the sea.
Krass.
Odin's daughter Edie, with husband Sven and baby Molly, step ashore on their new home, Orcas Island. Odin Finch is the first to be buried in the new family cemetery. His daughter Edie is already dreaming of a new Finch house. Whatever's wrong with this family, it goes back a long ways.
Ja, der hat mir das letzte Mal gefehlt. Alle anderen hatte ich. Ich meine, seins war jetzt nicht so interessant wie das von manch anderen. Aber doch.
Great-grandma had always been the family's biggest fan.
Und dennoch. Cool. Und dennoch. Es ist recht interessant. Oh ja, ich erinnere mich.
The only trace Grandpa Sam's first wife Kay left on the house was the pink bathroom. It was a pretty big trace.
Definitiv.
There's a secret in this bathroom. It's in the last place you would look. It isn't in the cupboard. It's hidden in this book.
Ich finde schön, dass du alles selbst ziehen und drehen musst. Ich hoffe, ich habe da jetzt nichts übersehen. Ich habe jetzt nicht geguckt. Verdammt.
Sven gave Sam an old camera he'd refurbished. He never put it down.
Sieht so aus. Ich würde auch an einem Stück so weit aufnehmen, wie ich kann. Und ich Lust habe. Mal gucken, wie weit das sein wird. Hey. Ist aggressiv. Fort Calvin. Ich finde das so cool, ne? Fort Sam.
I knew Grandpa Sam had a twin. And that he never talked about him. I guess my grandpa didn't like history any more than my mom did.
How I Want to Remember My Brother by Sam Finch. The thing I remember is that when he made up his mind, that was it. My brother said he'd die before he ate another mushroom, and he did. At Barbara's funeral, we swore we'd never be afraid again, and he wasn't.
Dafür muss man sogar beide Cursor hoch und runter
I think
drücken.
Calvin always wanted to fly.
Sam! Calvin! Dinner's ready!
Coming!
But that day, he finally made up his mind to do it. I told him going around was impossible. Maybe if I hadn't said that,
Calvin! I'm not gonna tell you again!
maybe if the wind hadn't picked up, then maybe he'd still be here. But I doubt it. I think he'd already made up his mind.
Das ist einfach so krass.
That's what I want to remember about my brother.
Daran sieht man erstmal, wie gefährlich die Scheiße hier eigentlich ist.
The day he made up his mind to fly. And he did.
Konnte sogar das alte Haus im Wasser sehen. Wenn man genau hingeguckt hat. Calvin.
Calvin's story felt strangely
War
familiar.
11.
When I was younger, I remember trying to do the exact same thing.
Ja, wenn nicht.
After the funeral, Edie roped off Calvin's half of the room.
Mom said Grandpa Sam enlisted at 18 and never set foot in the room again.
Ich finde das so cool. Wenn ich es richtig sehe, kommen wir jetzt zu Barbara.
The passages were a pretty tight fit. They'd obviously been built for smaller hands and bellies.
Smaller hands and bellies. Nicht für Schwangere, sagst du?
Growing up, I always thought of Barbara as a child star.
Das war sie doch auch.
I never thought about how hard it must have been for her afterwards.
Ich muss zugeben, die Geschichte, die jetzt kommt, ist die seltsamste. Ich wusste nicht,
Of
was
all
ich
the
verdanken
stories
soll.
people wrote about Barbara's death, I'm surprised Edie saved this one.
Old Jack here with another ghastly tale inspired by America's most
Gibt's diese Comics
unfortunate
eigentlich wirklich?
family. I'm calling it The Surprise Ending of Barbara Finch. As a child star, Barbara was famous for her scream. Now at 16, she was all washed up. A has-been. But in a lucky break, she'd been asked to perform her signature scream at a local convention for monster movie fans. It was just
Beastie
the
Collar.
boost her career needed. Unfortunately, her scream hadn't aged well.
Getting better. I think you just need the right motivation.
Her biggest fan and current boyfriend, Rick, was about to demonstrate when...
Now that was a great scream.
It was Barbara's father, Sven. He'd slipped into a table saw and had to be rushed to the emergency room.
Das sind alles Selbstmörder irgendwie, ne?
Got stuck babysitting her youngest brother, Walter. Her convention comeback was cancelled.
Wie kann man denn auf eine Tischsäge fallen?
Okay, I'm hearing frustration, but I'm not hearing terror. What if I tried...
A gang of hoodlums in Halloween masks have been terrorizing Orcas Island tonight. Police are urging residents to... That came from the basement.
You're right! Also, I loved your delivery on that. Why is your basement door locked?
Because my dad likes making puzzles and secret passages. There's a key hidden in the music box. The secret is to keep winding and winding until finally the key pops out.
Thanks, babe. I'll be back in a sec.
20 minutes later, Rick hadn't returned. So Barbara went to look for him, right on cue.
Das dürfen wir, glaube ich, auch selbst steuern.
She reached for the music box.
Warum ist die Tür eigentlich hinten dran wieder abgeschlossen?
She listened for Rick, but the house was silent.
Die Mucke, ne?
She found Rick's cry.
The gang's leader is the infamous Hookman killer, Dr. Carl Hamill, who impaled and then ate his family 10 years ago tonight.
The old fridge rattled and grew still.
Oh dear!
Oh!
Rick?
Barb, relax. I was just trying to scare you to help you find your scream.
Well, I'm not scared, Rick. I'm furious.
Then act furious. All I'm getting from you now is that you're hurt and confused and you're...
Was
She
ist
threw
Idiot?
him out, but she kept a little something to remember him by.
Barb, have you seen my other crutch?
And she was still holding it when she fell asleep watching the Late Late Picture Show. Hours later...
Es ist irgendwie immer 12 Uhr.
Walter, what's going on up there? Ah! Okay, I'm coming up, but if this is a trick, you're dead, Walter.
Es ist irgendwie immer 12 Uhr.
was coming from inside the house.
Oh dear.
Surprise!
The monsters had come to surprise her. For Barbara, it was a dream come true. Then she saw what kind of monsters they were, and she realized what was about to happen. She was going to be famous. And with her final breath, Barbara Finch gave the performance of her life. I wasn't there myself, but I hear Barbara was magnificent. Poor girl. She had a taste for stardom. But unfortunately, so did her fans. Of course, the police blamed it all on poor Rick, who disappeared the same night. And little Walter? Hiding under his bed the whole time. He took it all pretty hard, but that's another story. As for Barbara, tucked inside the music box is all they ever found of her. Her ear. Now that's what I call a real eerie tale.
Oh mein Gott. Den Pun am Ende habe ich ganz vergessen, Alter. Der ist richtig scheiße.
Edie told me all Barbara wanted was to be remembered, as absurd as that comic was. Maybe what Edie saw was a happy ending.
Ich weiß nicht, dass das viel ist, aber ich weiß nicht, ob das irgendwie
I guess now I
gegruselt
know why
hat.
Mom didn't like me playing with the music box.
Ich weiß nicht, ob das irgendwie gegruselt hat, aber mich nicht. Also überhaupt nicht. Ich wüsste auch nicht, warum es das sollte. Okay, der hat gerade nachgeladen, ne? Ja, kommt vor. Ab in den Keller. Kann ich eigentlich Billard spielen? Nee, ne? Ja, wäre auch zu schön, ha?
Mom said the basement was off limits, unless I wanted another tetanus shot.
Verständlich. Das war das Reich von Sven. Unter anderem.
I saw Edie sneak down to the basement once, carrying packages. I thought maybe she was hiding presents. It turned out she was hiding a lot more than that.
Oh ja.
I remember asking Mom once about where Walter had gone. She said after Barbara died, he got as far away as he could.
Mhm.
If there's a pattern in all these stories, I think it's that none of us has gotten very far.
Walter. (1952 bis 2005). Und er ist als kleiner Junge hier runter, ha? Hammer-Typ. 53 war er.
Goodbye, everyone. I can't believe I've been down here for 30 years.
30 Jahre. Krass.
On that first day, after the shaking started, I didn't think I'd survive a week. But after a few days, I settled into a routine. That's what kept me sane. Having a schedule, living for today.
Ich glaube nicht, dass du mit nur 30 Jahre da unten
I always
alleine
expected to be
lebst.
dead tomorrow.
Dass du noch gesund mit Verstand bist und so. Ich glaube
But
nicht.
if you wait long enough, you get used to anything. Even a monster on the other side of the door starts to feel normal. Almost friendly. And then one day, everything just stopped. Whatever that thing was, it was gone. Maybe it got tired of waiting. Or maybe I just got tired of being afraid. It's been a week now, the longest in 30 years. I'm done waiting. I have to leave while I still can.
Dann werden wir wohl gehen. Ich hoffe, es ist nicht 2005, mein Freund.
I know it's out there, somewhere. Whatever killed Barbara and Molly and Calvin. Maybe this is all a mistake. But I need to stop living the same day, even if it kills me. Whatever's out there, I want you to know I'm ready for it. I'm going to appreciate all of it, especially the food. I don't mind if I only have a year left, or a month, or a single week. I'd be happy with one more day. I can already imagine the sun on my face.
Walter died when I was 6. I can't believe my mom never told me he was down here.
Ist schon krass, oder? Also es ist, keine Ahnung, ist eine richtig heftige Geschichte eigentlich.